Launching grenade! I got you back! That's the rockets!
Fuck it! Hello, old friend.
Battlefield is back, ladies and gents, and if I'm being quite honest, it's always easy to get caught up into the hype and the hoopla of a reveal trailer. I do it often, I do it a lot, so I try to make sure that I'm taking a step back and really analyzing and seeing what is being shown on the screen here. If I can go back and slow some things down and why did they choose to do that and what is the point of this and really dive in and take a deep dive, and then you can really analyze it, then you can kind of make a more rational decision about, is this game good? Is it bad? Is it gonna suck? And that's what this video is gonna be all about. So I'm gonna cover what I looked forward to, what I was disappointed with in hearing and seeing in the live reveal. So let's just get started, guys. First and foremost, these are my opinions, and I know without a doubt that I'm not gonna share the same opinion with everybody. That's just a given. It's almost as a given as life is with death and taxes, right? Opinions not aligning with everybody. It's just as a guarantee as those two things. If you disagree with it, that's fine. Let's chat about it. Let's have a dialogue. I'm all for civilized discussion. But guys, so let's get right into it. So the setting. It's a given now that this installment of Battlefield would be set in World War II. One might be pretty skeptical of the move, as some would probably say that Call of Duty beat Battlefield to the punch in that regard, but I would beg to differ. DICE probably didn't calculate that Call of Duty World War II would have such a major launch issue, which in my mind damaged the game and its reputation right off the get-go. But you almost get that feeling that they were working up to releasing a World War II game, right? In the opening of the live reveal, Lars Gustafsson made the statement that this is the game he wanted to build. We've always wanted to go back. Technology has evolved and the team has gained so much experience, which, you know, it makes sense, and it's kind of a smart move on his part. The fans in the community have been asking for a World War II setting, or boots on the ground, pretty much, right? There's a lot of discontent in the comments section I saw in the live reveal trailer, and even in Twitter. There's a lot of people talking about how they wanted a more modern setting, and that, you know, people are kind of tired of the old and in the past, but it's kind of a different story, because last year I remember everybody was talking about how they wanted boots on the ground. Just if you go back to World War II, that's great, right? Well, Call of Duty did that. They went back to World War II, and I don't know, it just didn't really get off the ground as much as people really wanted it to, and it didn't really catch that wave of momentum that it possibly could have done. And I think Battlefield is capitalizing on this. I think Battlefield 5 is gonna be pretty good with this move, going back to World War II. So if you guys look at the setting, you try to ask yourself, how's this game gonna be any different than Battlefield 1? Well, it's about a 30-year difference, maybe a little bit less, but when you look at World War I, we're dealing with 1914 to 1918. And honestly, that's a 50-year difference between the Civil War, the American Civil War, and now we're going to war on a global scale, right? Well, after World War I, leading up until World War II, there was such a tremendous amount of industrial revolution, and technology was advancing. I mean, big time. And that's really what the strength is for making World War II a setting, because you guys look at all the weapons and the variants and the attachments and the scopes and everything that you can possibly look forward to in this game is pretty much, it lies within the weapon choices and the variants, right? So the multitude of choices that we have now to look at. Hey, I want to use this weapon. I've got so many weapons to choose from and so many attachments I can add on to this, that it just makes for a good setting. And with how much World War II has been pounded in our minds and the sheer magnitude of what was going on at that time, it's just a great setting to go back to. So I couldn't be more excited about this move back to World War II. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Next up, the characters. A lot of people are in absolute disgust about a few of the characters in the reveal, namely the woman with the prosthetic arm. So without getting into politics too much on the channel, it's quite disappointing to see such an odd inclusion of this character, on my own opinion. Were women involved in wars? Yeah, they were involved in wars, but not in the mass number that Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 would make you believe. Maybe even Call of Duty World War II would make you believe. It's important to be inclusive in a video game. I think that that's true, but we have to keep in mind that this is still a video game and it's not a documentary. It's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be enjoyable. Granted, if some fans of the game find enjoyment in the realism or the sim, so to speak, then I can see their point on why this would be frustrating. Many people are citing social justice warriors are winning or liberals are taking over our game. Those were some of the comments I saw pop up in the live reveal. Now, I agree with many of you guys out there that it's weird, it's odd, and it's unrealistic to include this kind of character in the game or market the game as authentic when it really isn't, right? But at the same time, we do have to stay grounded in that it's just a video game, and it's the decision of DICE's to implement this type of strategy, this type of character, right? They're going to either fortune from it, or they're going to falter because of it. Ultimately, they drew their line in the sand, and it's now on us, the consumer, to decide if the game as a whole is worth playing or not due to this perceived agenda that they're pushing. So ultimately, it's a free market concept, guys. So they felt like it was a good thing to include this type of character. Now it's on us because we've got all the money, right? They've got the product, we've got the money and the interest, and now we got to decide is, can I buy this game? Can I just deal with it, right? And if you just can't deal with it, then you won't buy it. And that's just how it goes, right? That's just really how it goes. And now we get to move into talking about the Premium Pass. So this is kind of the same thing. DICE implemented Premium Pass, and a lot of people, a lot of the players of the game really couldn't stand it, really hated it. It split the player base up. It was also an inconvenience for DICE. And ultimately, it's no more. It's no longer going to be in the game. So we can all rejoice in that, right? Woohoo! No more Premium Pass. Thank God. We don't have to spend another $50 on top of a $60 game, right? But there's a new concept called War Tides, and it's replacing it. In this, it's kind of like Destiny and Call of Duty started deploying this as well, with kind of like timed events and different map locations. I didn't catch, though, if these maps will be permanent in the rotation or if they're just only going to be included in the timed event. But the concept is really pretty cool. In these timed events, you'll be able to acquire cosmetics like weapon skins, face paints, outfits, dog tags, and much, much more. Think of it like Friday Night Battlefield, but on like a grander scale. Or when you would be able to acquire the zodiac signs for your dog tags, right? There was only a certain amount of time that you could do that. So I kind of like this on the grander scale. I think it really rewards you for playing the game, and it really replaces the fact that there's no more, like, it's not pay to win, but there's no more microtransactions in this, right? To buy a cosmetic, or it really harkens back to the old days of video games when I grew up playing, you know, on your Sega or your Super Nintendo or something, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep playing, I'm gonna unlock, you know, this cosmetic or this skin or something. The way your guy looks, you know, it was already included in the game. You just had to work for it. You had to earn it. You had to play the game to do that, right? So that's a really good thing. I like that they're going back to that. It's very, very important. But I tend to think that it's either one or two things. It's either A, it was in good nature of the Battlefield team to get rid of Premium Pass, or it was B, the community was really against Premium Pass and they just listened, you know? I'm more of a skeptic than anything, and I'm going to go with the latter. I think the community really got after DICE about this, and they decided it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the headache of managing a split player base and just dealing with all the bad PR about it. So that's kind of my take on it. I mean, I could be wrong. They could easily have said, oh, you know, we just think it's the right thing to do, you know? I mean, not in my mind. So now let's talk about the weapons. As we kind of alluded to before, with World War II comes the massive amount. As Andreas Morel said, I think going back to this era, the pool of hardware and the tools we can use is absolutely immense. And I agree with him. it's immense and it's a good thing, as a lot was made of the limited amount of variants, attachments, and even weapons alone that Battlefield 1 could offer. We saw the iconic MG42 being used in the reveal trailer, as well as what looks to be like the Thompson, and many more that were kind of hard to make out, but nonetheless, World War II will allow for more inclusion of 1940 style or era weapons, and hopefully that means more attachments. The last thing I wanted to cover to you guys is just the simple fact that I think there's a lot of disappointment with the reveal trailer, but I think when you start getting down to the nitty-gritty and you start seeing more things start popping up and some more news about Battlefield 5, I think everybody's just kind of come together and they're going to realize, you know what, this is going to be a pretty solid game. And even though the reveal trailer was just a bunch of hodgepodge crazy things going on, planes taking out people and cars dropping out of the air, jeeps flying everywhere, like, I get it, it's over the top, it's very, very over the top, but you can't base a game off the reveal trailer. And that's really what I was saying in the very beginning of this video, is that sometimes you can get caught up in the hype of a reveal trailer and the game is just terrible, or you can really dog it and not give it a chance, and then it eventually turns into be a really good game, a really solid game. So I think that there's a lot of things that DICE is doing to really bring back the community. No more premium pass, doing Tides of War, fortifications, kind of like a siege type of element that they're implementing. Like for the support character, he's going to be able to pretty much use any type of building or building structure or any kind of environment to build something to support the team in the effort of defending or attacking. And I think that's a very, very cool feature, because let's face it, guys, Rainbow Six Siege has this customization level on how you choose to defend something or attack a certain area, right? So I think that that's kind of where they're pulling that from. I think this is going to be really, really good, guys. I really do. I'm really got high hopes for it. It's kind of funny because I'm really excited for this thing and I haven't made a Battlefield video in about a year, but I think the last video I posted about Battlefield was talking about how, you know, since Call of Duty was going back to World War II, you know, what is Battlefield's response going to be? And then I took a year off from Battlefield. Now I'm thinking I'm going to be back, because with Black Ops 4 looking like that, I think I'm going to be going right back to Battlefield and saying thank God you decided to go to World War II and not do all this futuristic stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I probably will start covering some more things Battlefield 5 in a couple weeks when we start getting more information. But other than that, I'm pretty busy with the Reds, Texans, college football videos. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested in Battlefield 5, let me know. And you know, hey, I'm gonna be on Xbox. I'm gonna be gaming on it on PC. So let me know your contact info, and then I'll friend request you guys, and hopefully we can get a squad going, right? We can get our Battlefield squad going and start wrecking people. So guys, catch you later. Leave a like if you like this video, and if you're excited for Battlefield 5. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that little red button for a subscribe or my logo, and I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, peace.